Hi gamers out there, this is Maniac with Game Access, and after what I did with the God of War 3 Ultimate Edition review, which you can see in the box here, I actually wanted to talk about what actually does make, at least in my opinion, a good collector's edition. And I picked this up the other day, the Bioshock 2 collector's edition for the Xbox 360, as kind of an example of what inspired me as to why I wanted to do this. Over here I also got another collector's edition. Actually, you can tell probably from these three here, and also the obvious bookshelf that I've got here, that I am a fan, definitely a fan of collecting and collector's editions. I have tons and tons of them, and we're going to start seeing a lot of them in a few minutes. Now, the Bioshock 2 collector's edition is actually kind of a bit of a surprise for me. I was actually surprised I was going to like it as much as I did. Now, let me show you why in just a second. Okay, we're just going to go into here, do a little... These are my Xbox 360 and original Xbox games we got here. But there was one in particular I wanted to bring up. This, which brings me far back. This is the Halo 2 Collector's Edition. I believe, and I'm fairly certain about this, this was the first Collector's Edition I've ever owned. And it's probably also one of the best Collector's Editions I've ever owned. And certainly a purchase I was very happy with. You could probably get this off Amazon. At the time it was available, it was $60, where the regular edition was $50. I got it at Best Buy, at my local Best Buy, for $70. Now there are some problems with it. As you can see here, the box is a little bit torn on the top. All of the Xbox 360 versions in that store actually were. It was because of the anti-theft material that they put on it, which was just stupid. However, for $30 off, on top of that I had my gift certificate. It actually was a fantastic deal. It actually was worth that price. $70 is what they should have charged for it in the first place. I can tell most people probably charge this for $80 to $100, definitely. But this is what makes it so great. Now this is a vinyl. This is a vinyl of the game soundtrack, which you can see here. It is still sealed. It's useless, unfortunately. I mean, it looks nice. It's great for collectors, I guess, if you're like a heavy art collector or something like that. But it's completely useless because nobody has vinyl players anymore. I don't have vinyl players. This was the last vinyl I've ever seen. This was the vinyl made of the Doom 3 theme song. This was a collector's only. It only cost, I think, about $30 or so, but it is signed actually by Chris Wren himself. This is the entire Doom 3 soundtrack, and it was only released on vinyl. It was really nice because, of course, it was the Masters, but I got this in 2004, and of course, I've never been able to play it. It does work just fine, though. My point is that you don't need to have vinyl releases with your stuff, because vinyl is about as dead as Julius Caesar. There's no vinyl hardware anymore. You can't play it, and even if you could, your equipment doesn't work for very long. I've never actually seen a vinyl player that actually still works to this day, and my parents had a few of them. But this right here is what makes it so great. This is what makes this collector's edition so great. This is the art book. I believe it's 146 pages or so, and it's hardcover, as you can see here, and it's basically kind of doubles for the fact that there's no DVD. I don't want to show too many because I don't want to open this up too well, because I can hear it cracking a little bit like textbooks normally do. But you can see here, this is a very, very in-depth art book, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I have a few art books like that. I have Half-Life 2, as you can see here. I have Half-Life 2's Breaking the Mold, which is another awesome art book. That cost $30 at the time. And right next to it, you can see the Halo 2, Halo 1 and Halo 2 art books, The Art of Halo. That cost, I believe, $20 or so. That's a paperback. It's not really it's not a hardcover, but it is also another fantastic one. This is coming from a world where most of those art books are basically like what you saw in the God of War, which is those very small ones that kind of are in mostly every documentary there is. This is a fantastic art book, and it really does make up for the fact that there's no DVD. Although not totally. It probably, if they had included a DVD, I would have said that charging $100 for it was okay. But that's neither here nor there. It also has, and this makes up for it, the soundtrack is on CD. This is an actual CD with the soundtrack, and I believe it has basically the same stuff that is on this vinyl. So that actually does make up for the fact that they put a vinyl in there. They actually did include the CD, and also they included this. This book is kind of bag is quite beautiful, and how they packed it is actually very nice too. And these are the posters that they included with it, which you can see here. That's unfortunate that they rolled them up, but they are done very nice, and you probably aren't going to want to mess with them very much. There's also another few things I want to show you. It's like this is back when they were actually using tins and just having regular releases with these things with extra DVDs. This is the Gears of War 1 Collector's Edition. Its main selling feature is, of course, this larger tin box, which they were going for a while. It's kind of standard. I think the Halo 3 Special Collector's Edition actually has a similar tin. But what they went for is this also has a fantastic documentary on it. It has one, it has two, but only one is actually really good, and that's the Road to E3 documentary in its entirety is included, including with some deleted scenes that they didn't actually air because they did air it on TV. That is another fantastic documentary which really shows in depth about the release of the game and the hard work that was put into it. This right here is the Metal Gear Solid 4 Collector's Edition, and this actually has a Blu-ray on it, which is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It has two documentaries on it. Only one is actually good. This is right here the soundtrack, which is included on CD format. It's not the full soundtrack, but it's quite a bit of them, and they're all very good. This is the Blu-ray. It has two documentaries on it. One that's actually good for it's mostly a 2-hour fluff piece, but it actually has a 40-minute documentary from the internal perspective, which is entirely in Japanese, but it is subtitled, which is great. You know, it's great to watch it, so you can have no problem understanding it. Which really shows the last couple of weeks up until the master release of the game itself, which is fantastic and really shows the in-depth process of Kojima and the whole team. I really had to dig for these two. These were this was the Doom 3 Collector's Edition for the Xbox version, the original Xbox version, and this is the Collector's Edition for Jade Empire. Now the fun part is that by the time I got this Doom 3 Collector's Edition, it was probably worth 20 bucks. I think the final version of the game cost more actually. The regular edition cost more, at least at the store I bought it from, than the Collector's Edition actually did. I think they were just doing a clearance on these. They had quite a few of them. There's really nothing super special on this one. However, it does have the steel case book, and it was certainly worth the $20. I think the PC version is far superior. The problem with this one is that all the things were on one disc, and the second thing was that there was no second disc with it. But however, there was actually Doom 1 and Doom 2 on Xbox version that were still there. And also they had the fantastic Icons documentary, which back when G4 was actually good, they actually had weekly documentaries called a show called Icons, which was actually about games and game development. Nowadays, G4 is about as much about games than it is about, I don't know, probably it is about warfare or something like that. It really has nothing to do with games anymore, which is really unfortunate. This station used to be really good. This is the Jade Empire Collector's Edition. This actually was charged. They charged the same amount as they did for the full edition. I guess they wanted everybody to buy these first, which is fine. Right here it has a second disc with a few documentaries on it, which were actually really good. It also had an extra character unlock on it, which was also really good. But it was mostly just the same game, and it was nice that they charged a regular price for it. They charged, at the time it came out, they charged $50 for it. I think by the time that the game was down to $20, they were still charging they were still charging $20 for it, but there were still plenty of copies of this left. I don't know if this is still available. I do realize that this was probably the collector's edition that basically changed the whole rules for collector's editions. By this point, all collector's editions were about $10 premium over the other ones. This one was different, and because they got away with it, everybody started charging more premiums on this. Originally, if your game was $50, your collector's edition would be $60. If it was $60, your collector's edition would be $70. Well, this was $85 when it came out, and it actually caused a lot of controversy because it had a third disc. Its bonus disc is basically completely and totally useless. There was nothing but fluff pieces on it. There was nothing really groundbreaking on it. What it did have was a $20 disc, which actually included the first bit of the first season of the animated series of Devil May Cry. And that, because it's retail for $20, actually allowed them to charge the premium for it. It was actually a really good series. That disc alone was probably worth the collector's edition, but you could have bought it separately at anywhere. And right now I think it's got a Blu-ray release. Well, down to my conclusions. What is the difference between this and this? I like this. I didn't like this. Why? And I also like the majority of the stuff that I just showed you. Well, basically, there's 30 good reasons. Actually, 45 good reasons. $45 I didn't pay on this that I paid on this. And because I saved that much money on this, I really actually did like this a lot more because I paid less for it. Again, like I said, there is no DLC on this. It's all physical content. And even though there isn't a DVD or a Blu-ray release along with it, It's the content that it actually did come with. There was enough substance to it that actually was quite nice. Also, the same with this. There is no DLC on this. It's all physical content. The helmet is physical content. And no, I didn't pay full price for it. I paid, I think, probably 45, 50 off for it, which actually made it a worthwhile purchase. That third disc is worth the extra money. It was really that good. Same thing with these. These are all physical content. There is no DLC on any of these discs, on any of these things. And because of that, they actually were all worthwhile purchases. On top of that, I did get a few discounts on there, but I paid full price for at least half of these. And because I'm very happy that I actually had these. I can watch these discs forever. I can play these discs forever. And that's what actually makes a collector's edition worthwhile, in my opinion. So, Dead Space devs, I know you guys are working on what you're dealing with for Dead Space 2 Collector's Edition. People want some really, really, really stupid, expensive stuff in their Collector's Editions. Don't listen to them.